Hi, everybody. How are you? I am a little late, but I am so happy to see you. Um, when you set stuff up in terms of setting things for productivity. So I'm supposed to be live on Instagram. I am sorry if you were expecting to see me on Instagram, but what happened, I set my phone, this here, in productivity mode and did not get any notifications. So sorry, no Instagram today. However, today, as you can see, I don't know where the topic shows up, but um, let's roll back. Hi, my name is Lenore Reynolds Jones. I am the founder of this company, legacybuilders.com. I am the proprietor, legacy consultant, clarity consultant, but also I am an author, I am a wife, I am a mother, and I am just privileged to share with you today. Welcome to today's edition of Midday Manna. On Friday of last week, which was my 15th wedding anniversary, I went ahead and that's the last I went ahead and shared the wonderful news with you that my husband and I were launching a new company, and that company is not a new company, a new class. And our class is called Legacy Building in Marriage, right? And as I was thinking about it, we told you guys we had been married 15 years. If you are familiar with us, you know a little bit about our story. I will not give you details of the story right now, but I thought about if you didn't know me, or even if you do, but you don't know our story, why would you care about Legacy Builders, my company, or even legacy building, or better yet, why does it matter in marriage? And so, over the next several weeks for the Midday Manna Spotlight, we're going to talk about why legacy building in marriage is important. So, today, reason number one we're going to talk about is, and I'm going to give you a sentence and then I'm going to even post the graphic so you get to see it here first, pretty much. But reason number one, why legacy building in marriage is important is that a marriage without purpose is destined to fail. You're like, what? I'm going to say it again. Your marriage, the union between man and woman, two people together, a marriage without purpose is destined to fail. And you're like, how's way? Explain to me how a marriage without purpose is destined to fail. Well, I'm going to say it this way. If the Bible, and I won't Bible you too much, but the Bible is a good book and it has some really great points, and it was written by some really cool people, and one of those and other beings, being the Holy Spirit. And in that inspired book, it tells us that without a plan, the people perish. So let's now take that and juxtaposition it on the idea of marriage. If your marriage doesn't have a plan or a purpose, it will do what? Perish. So if you aren't working towards something, if you aren't striving, you're just walking in circles. Think about yourself. Like, if your goal for yourself is continued personal development, think about, let's even scale that a little further back and not do personal development. Let's think about a specific goal. Let's say you decide you want to lose 20 pounds. And I'm picking 20 because of COVID-19. And they say many of us have gained that COVID-20. And so let's say you decide you are going to lose your COVID-20. Right? That's what we're saying. I'm losing my COVID-20. Then, because you now have that goal in mind, you go through and you start taking steps, you start making plans, you start watching what you eat, you start drinking your water, you exercise, you get enough rest, you start doing all the things because you have an end in mind. Many of us get married and we have no end in mind. As in, we have not even clearly expressed, like my husband and I. So this is where I'll tell you a little bit of our story. Is like one of the things we always said to ourselves was divorce is not an option. So we knew going into marriage that it pretty much didn't matter what we were going to go through. Divorce wasn't ever on the table. I would, if you join our class, we'll give you a little more details about why that was the case. But divorce was never an option. And I've had conversations with people where, and I'm going to say this, and some of y'all are going to look like, what? I never even thought about it that way, but go with me here. So let's think about this idea of, you've heard so-and-so say that, oh, if they cheat on me, I'm done. For me, that means you have an end in mind because you believe that for your marriage to end, you are speaking into existence and declaring, and to that certain degree, you think, therefore you are. I think that's Socrates, but you think, therefore you are. So you're thinking thoughts and manifesting that, because I have said and I have created, this is the boundary, this is the thing that is going to end my marriage. It's going to be infidelity. So you're pretty much daring the devil. You're telling Satan that all he needs to do is get your significant other to cheat, and then your marriage is over. And no, I'm not belittling the fact that, yes, at the end of the day, it's a choice and all these other stuff. I'm not Derek Jackson in it at all. Absolutely not. I'm not condoning the behavior, anything like that. But what I'm saying is, if you're going into it already predetermining what is going to cause the cessation of your marriage, are you then working not towards that cessation versus towards success? So we went into our marriage with the idea that divorce was not an option. So I'm not saying I'm going to be one of these women who, if they stay, if my husband, and we are at 15 years and we have never had an instance or a situation where infidelity was a question. God is gracious. Like, we were committed. What we were committed to do was to stay married. But let me put another little layer on there, because the other thing we said to ourselves, and again, these are just things that we had talked about in conversation based on life experiences. But not only if divorce was not an option, then neither was continued unhappiness. So for the last 15 years, we've been working on creating a marriage, one that divorce was never thrown around in conversation. We don't even say that word. But for that to be a real achievable goal, then the sub goal was that we had to create a space where we felt fulfilled, we felt happy, we were secure in our relationship. So that's what we have been working towards. As we were working towards those things, you know what happened? In my new book, How to Build a Lasting Legacy, I found a quote, and I can't tell you who it's by, but it says, along the road to identity, you find purpose. And so what happened is we had identified our marriage as a divorce-proof, happy place. And in doing that, we discovered the purpose of our marriage. The purpose of our marriage is to create a space where transcendent wealth occurs. You're like, what? Yes. Transcendent wealth. You have to take our class to learn about transcendent wealth and what it means. And Oren, you're saying God is the key. to those kinds of marriage. Yes, God is absolutely the key. I agree with you 100%. And you need purpose. One of the things I feel like it is my job to challenge is the idea that so many things that we encounter have to be either or. It can be both and. Like God can be the key, absolutely, and we can have a marriage on purpose. And because we are walking towards a purpose, our marriage will not fail. Because again, the tagline for today is a marriage without purpose is destined to fail. Because, I'll give you another one of those sayings, because if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. All of these are truths that we have accepted, and somehow we don't invite these truths or build for these truths or plant these truths in our marriage. We somehow just assume that we're going to get married and we don't have what we're together to be happy. Happiness is transient, which is why the Bible talks about being blessed or finding joy. Because notice that, right? So, and happiness is an emotion. And the truth is your feelings can fool you. Your feelings aren't the truth. I can feel like my husband did that on purpose. That's not the truth. The truth is he probably didn't even see me. Or he didn't even know that I had an opinion about it. Just because you feel something doesn't make it true. And so when you have purpose in your marriage, what you create is a filter and a foundation. And once I explain those last 2 points, then I'm going to get out of your way. But why purpose is both filter and foundation is this. Filter allows you to, what does a filter do? And we're not talking IG filters. We're talking filters in terms of, I'm West Indian. I drink a lot of tea. I drink a lot of loose leaf tea. And what you do is, your strainer, it acts as what? A filter. And what does it do? It allows you to keep the tea leaves that you don't need. So it keeps what you don't need out of the thing that you want to keep. And so purpose will act as a filter in your marriage. It will allow you to capture, examine, and see what is needed and what is not needed, and then separate that from what is needed. The next thing purpose will do is act as a foundation, because once you have arrived at it, you can build. And what are you building? A legacy. Because I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and I'm going to state the obvious. The obvious is that as much as we talk about legacy being the idea of what is said after you're gone, legacy is created while you're still here. Yeah, that pause was intentional, because just like building a legacy is intentional, you should be building your legacy now. So what you once said about your marriage is tied up in the choices that you make today. It's tied up in how you enrich your relationship and how you build your relationship. It's tied up in whether or not you're going to choose to forgive your spouse or say I love you to your spouse. Excuse me. It's tied up in whether or not you will support your spouse. It's tied up in whether or not you will come into agreement with your spouse. Your legacy is tied up in whether or not you and your spouse have a plan. It's tied up in your thoughts, your words, your actions, your prayers. It is your foundation. And when we have purpose, you have a sure and solid foundation. And so today, I want to challenge you to examine your marriage. And the last thing I'm going to say about the point, again, the point today that we are discussing is this idea is that a marriage without purpose is destined to fail. the last thing I want to say to you is examine your marriage and create find your purpose. But here's the other part of it. It can't be just something that's floating in your head. You know how they say, because, and I'm going back to that trusty book, the Bible, it says, write the vision. So if you're the only person in your relationship who knows the purpose of your marriage, then it's not a purpose. A purpose is something, and I'm going to talk about it. We talk about it more in our class. A purpose in marriage is the joining of two purpose partners. It's the thing that God brought you together to accomplish, because we serve an intentional God. And we talk about, God doesn't make mistakes. So, and we talk about the permissive will of God, where he allows us to do things, but then it also says, that same book, the Bible, it talks about the steps of the righteous man or woman are ordered by the Lord. So when we put all of those things together, that means God didn't randomly, and I'm not saying there are soulmates. I don't believe that there is a single individual for each person, and that if you somehow miss them, that your chance at marital happiness is missing. I don't believe that. But I do believe that there are complementary individuals that when put together, they achieve a purpose that they could not have achieved separate from each other. And that is what I wish for each and every one of you, that through the course of your marriage, you partner with not just your spouse, but with God. And you not only discover, but you achieve the thing that you were destined to complete together. And in the journey of completing that thing, of preparing for that thing, of doing that thing, of making the choices, creating the habits necessary for that thing, you failure-proof your marriage. And so having talked to you about all of this, and you're like, that all sounds great. How do I do that? How do you do that is in the coming months, because you will hear about this for a little while. Excuse me. My husband and I are teaching a class, and it is called Legacy Building in Marriage. And it goes through and it gives you tools, insight, and skills development on how to take these things, like how do I find my individual purpose? How do we find our marriage purpose? How do we failure-proof our marriage? That things like that are what will be covered in the class, How to Build a Lasting Legacy. So my final ask of you is, please share this broadcast. Thank you so much for joining me today on today's Midday Manna. Of course, I will be back live Friday at noon. Yep, I'm back every Friday at noon. You will see the graphic where you can post your prayer requests. You can send me your prayer requests directly through whatever social media you find me on, or you can join me live at noon on Friday and type your prayer requests in the comments, and I will be happy to pray for you then. However, today's focus, as we know, is just the word, the message that God wanted me to share, or the thing. And so the thing that I feel that God wants me to let you know today is that a marriage without purpose is destined to fail. And so the last thing I want to just share is that the idea is it's never too late to look for purpose, nor is it too early. And you're like, what? How is it? Because if as a single individual you live in pursuit of purpose, then God can partner you with someone else with a complementary purpose, right? And then together you guys can do something amazing. But if you've been married a while and you've been walking together, God will reveal that complementary purpose, and then you can walk continue walking in it. So if you are already married, this class is for you. If you're not yet married, this class is for you. Either way, this class is for you. And so get excited, tell your friends, tell your neighbor, tell everybody that some people, and they are going to be launching a class in May, and it's a preparatory class, and it's for all and whosoever will. It's a limited number of slots. I'm going to tell you that early. So start saving your coins so that when we say, hey, class is open and available for sale, you can be in the number, because it is a limited number. And I'm not just saying that, people say you have to say that. No, there really is a limited number of slots. There is a certain level of capacity that my husband and I think we can successfully manage. And so we do have a number where, like, once we get to this number, we're shutting it down. So you would want to be in the inaugural class of how to build a lasting legacy in marriage, or legacy building in marriage. Last but not least announcement is share this broadcast. And if you have not already, buy my book. The current book that I have available, it's going to be a year old on Easter Sunday. It's actually, the 4th. But my current book, Knowing God as El Shaddai, yes, it's actually been 1 year since I've been a published author. And so I am excited. If you have not already bought the book, it's available wherever books are sold. Or you can go directly to my website. This website right here, you can go to this website and you can buy the ebook or the autographed copy. If you want a print book, you have to go to Amazon.com, type in my name, and get you your copy. But that book, Knowing God is El Shaddai, first became available on Easter Sunday last year. And so this year, I just wanted to remind you that it's a great time to take a new journey, knowing God. And to let you know that there are more books coming. Yes, I am working on it's not the only one. So you can always take a refresher course, and just walk together with me. I hope you are enjoying your day. I hope you are having a wonderful Easter. It's Holy Week. It's Holy Week, where we celebrate the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus. And I am just excited about what God is going to do in the coming days, weeks, and months. So have a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Again, share. Go to this website. Oh, I almost forgot. If you go to this website, legacybuilders.com, and join our mailing list, you get a free gift. It's a free gift. So you are listening to me and you're like, I like what you said. Is there anything that I can get right now? Right now, you can get your free gift, your legacy building checklist, and it's available at this website. So have a wonderful day, everyone. May your ladder be greater. And I look forward to learning, building, and growing something awesome with you today and in the future. Bye-bye.